Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists. Hello, I'm Dango Rose, and this is the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. In this week's episode, we catch up with Kris McFarland with some exciting news about the upcoming Nedfest Family Reunion slated to happen in August at the Caribou Room.
We hear this week's music mentions from Jamie Lammers, and special correspondent Marianne Rosen will share a story about the history of Memorial Day. Then, we speak with Leon from the Gilpin County chapter of the American Legion. He reminds us of the services they provide for military veterans of our fine nation.
And for our final story, we speak with Amy Fortunato, artist and writer living and working in Gold Hill. She talks about her children's book and what's behind her lyrical writing and the expressive illustrations.
But first, some news from your neighborhood.
The Mountaineer newspaper has announced plans for the first annual Peak to Peak Studio Tour to take place September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The tour will feature hundreds of artists living and working along our peaks. Be sure and visit themountaineer.com for more information on how to participate as either a featured artist or to become a sponsor.
It may not feel like it, but summer is right around the corner, and so is the annual Nederland Town Cleanup. With everything going on in town, organizers want to get an early start with securing volunteers. This year's Big Clean has been scheduled for Saturday, June 3rd. Volunteers will be needed from 7:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. Volunteers can dispose of their items free of charge, and Bright Hardt Catering will be providing burritos to keep everyone going strong. Go online to sign up at town-clean.gov/town-clean-up-day.
Keep listening for the latest information on the upcoming Nedfest Family Reunion. Tickets have gone on sale. Expect music, food, art, and fun taking place at the Caribou Room in August. To find out the latest information, buy tickets, or sign up as a vendor, visit peakmusic.org. You can also keep up with the event on Facebook at Peak to Peak Music Education Association.
For folks planning on taking it to the trails and visiting open spaces in Colorado, you can download the free trail guide app, CoTrex. The app provides updated information to hikers, bikers, and adventuring newcomers. This includes trail locations, trail safety, and trail closures, among many other useful features. Again, the app is free and can be downloaded to your device of choice, available from your favorite app store.
Read more local news and feature stories in print and online at themountaineer.com.
And that's it for this week's news briefs. If you have something to share, you can send requests for submission to info@themountaineer.com. As long as it meets our community standards, we'll be sure to include it in a future episode. Brightwood Music has been serving the Peak to Peak region and beyond since opening in 2008. The full-service music store offers new and used instruments and will even repair the ones you've got. Go ahead and check them out on Facebook at Brightwood Music. Brightwood Music is the best music store with altitude across the Peak to Peak.
And now for our lead story, we hear from Kris McFarland, organizer and longtime supporter of Nedfest. Well, Kris, can you introduce yourself and tell us what's going on?
Okay, hi. Well, I'm Kris McFarland, and I'm the event coordinator for the Peak to Peak Music Education Association, which is the nonprofit that used to run Nedfest. We're going to try to bring back Nedfest. We're calling this year the Nedfest Family Reunion, and we're going to have it at the Caribou Room property. It will be outside, like Nedfest. There'll be inside music too, but it will mostly be outside, and it's going to be August 26th and 27th. And so just 2 days instead of 3. And we're going to have music all afternoon till late night on Saturday, and then music afternoon till about dinner time on Sunday. I think we're going to stop at 7 on Sunday. Anyway, we're going to have all the regular Nedfest stuff. So we're going to have kids booths, and we're going to have artist booths, stuff, merchandise for sale. We'll have some food trucks. We're going to have a main stage and tweeners and main stage. See, what else would you like to know?
We'd love to hear more about the music lineup.
We have some of the local favorite bands on tap to play. We've got Flash Mountain Flood Guys and the No-Go Gilbillies guys. Sorry, that's hard to say. And let's see, Rocket Parade. They're local too. And one other local band that I shouldn't say yet because they haven't gotten back with me yet, but I'm pretty sure they'll play. And then we have an awesome national touring band called Fruition, which has played at least 2 Nedfests in the past, possibly 3.
And what about the headliner? Can you share that information yet, or is it still under wraps?
I'm not allowed to tell you who the headliner is for quite a while yet, due to the contract I have with them.
And what can you tell us about the vendors participating?
Yes, just like Nedfest, there'll be probably a dozen that we figure out we have, at least a dozen artist booths, just like Nedfest would have, jewelry makers and clothes designers and all kinds of things we've had over the years. Anyway, so we don't know what artists we'll have yet, but there will be artists. And there will be at least 4, maybe 3, depends on how much interest we have, food trucks. And then we'll have beer sponsors, local beer brewery sponsors, just like usual.
Is there a way for people to reserve a spot yet?
That will be very soon. Deb DeAndrea, almost everybody around here knows her. She will be the vending coordinator just like she always was with Nedfest. And so I will make it together with her to set prices and stuff like that.
Kris, tell people the best way to stay up to date as things develop.
Well, I am about to put up a brand new website because the old website still says Nedfest doesn't exist anymore. But it's almost ready to go live. And so the website will be the same address as before, which is peakmusic.org. And you'll be able to go to peakmusic.org, that's PEAK music.org, to find the ticket link and new information. Then also our Facebook page, which is, you can search Nedfest or PPMEA, and you'll get our Nedfest page. So there'll be a ticket link there and on our webpage.
And is there anything else you wanted to make sure people know before the event?
Something to note that's important is we're only going to be able to have half as many people as the old Nedfest because of just room. So tell people that it might actually sell out this year because 800 will be a sellout.
Thank you, Kris. People are looking forward to any sort of continuation of Nedfest. Tickets are on sale, and once more, they will sell out fast, so go online and get yours today. We will also include a link to the website in our show notes.
You are worthy, you are bright. Strong enough for this life.
Now we go to correspondent Jamie Lammers, who will be delivering this week's Music Mentions.
And now for this week's Music Mentions. Head to Busey Brews, located at 70 East 1st Street in Netherland on Sunday, June 4th at 2 p.m. to see Brittany Wagner performing live. Head to the Gold Hill Inn, located at 401 Main Street in Gold Hill on Friday, June 2nd at 8 p.m. to see David Lawrence and the Spoonful performing live, and on Sunday, June 4th at 6 p.m. to see Strange Birds performing live. Head to Howlin' Wind Brewing, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville on Saturday, June 3rd at 4 p.m. to see New Family Dog performing live. Head to the Jamestown Mercantile, located at 108 Main Street in Jamestown on Thursday, June 1st at 7 p.m. to see Riverspell performing live, on Friday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. to see Greg Shoshed and Little America performing live, and on Sunday, June 4th at 12:15 p.m. to see Ren Band performing live. Every Sunday at 4 p.m., Knotted Root Brewing hosts Jazz Sundays with Black Dog and Friends. Be sure to head there at 250 North Caribou Street in Netherland to check it out for yourself. Also be sure to head there on Friday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. to see Michael Lunson performing live. Every Saturday at 6 p.m., the Millside Inn hosts an open jam. Be sure to head to 44365 Highway 72 in Ward to check it out for yourself. And finally, head to the Very Nice Brewing Company, located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, number 112 in Netherland on Friday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. to see Dr. Jim's one-man band performing live, on Saturday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. to see Magnum Mike performing live, and on Sunday, June 4th at 5 p.m. to see Reader Goldman performing live. Did we miss you or your performances? Want to submit your music listing in the Peak to Peak area? Do you have updates to your business or to your performances? Please call 303-810-5409 or email info@themountaineer.com to be included in the next print edition or the next podcast of The Mountain Ear.
Thank you, Jamie. Now let's drop in with special correspondent Marianne Rosen, who shares an intriguing tale about the history of Memorial Day.
Often thought of as the unofficial beginning of summer and celebrated with barbecues, cookouts, visiting loved ones' graves, and outdoor activities, the real reason for Memorial Day is sometimes forgotten. Although ancient Greeks and Romans honored loved ones and soldiers by placing flowers on graves and holding public festivals and feasts, the holiday that we call Memorial Day began in the United States around 1864 in order to honor those soldiers who died fighting during the Civil War. In May 1864, in Charleston, South Carolina, a group of women began decorating the graves of loved ones who had given their lives in battle. A year later, they returned with more women who decorated all graves of deceased veterans. In 1866, Mary Ann Williams, a member of the Ladies' Memorial Association, wrote a letter to the ladies of the South to inaugurate an annual holiday to decorate the graves of those soldiers who had passed during the Civil War. Also in 1866, in Waterloo, New York, a ceremony was held in May to honor the Civil War dead. Businesses closed and residents flew flags. In 1868, John A. Logan proposed a national holiday for the purpose of strewing flowers or otherwise decorating graves of deceased veterans who had died in the defense of their country. May 30th was set aside for this celebration, and it was called Decoration Day. By 1890, most states had adopted the holiday. The world wars turned the Day of Remembrance into a day honoring all departed U.S. military members from all conflicts, not just the Civil War. This holiday is in contrast to the federal holiday of Veterans Day, celebrated in November. Veterans Day honors all of those who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces, past or present, including those who are still living. In 1971, this day of honoring dead servicemen became a federal holiday, and the name was changed from Decoration Day to Memorial Day. The date was also changed to the last Monday of May. This year, that date is May 29th. The holiday is now usually marked by parades, speeches, religious services, volunteers placing flags on the graves of military personnel in national cemeteries, and laying wreaths on the tombs of the unknown at Arlington National Cemetery. In addition, American flags are flown at half-staff until noon in a moment of silence to reflect on the sacrifice of those who gave their life in military service is held at 3 p.m. on Memorial Day. Red poppies, a symbol of the day, are worn. The red poppy became an emblem for the holiday based on a reference from the poem In Flanders Field by John McCrae. So, as you are observing the holiday and celebrating the onset of summer, pause a moment to recollect why and for whom the holiday exists. Have a good Memorial Day.
With this episode being released on Memorial Day, we want to first honor all of the men and women who have lost their lives fighting in our armed forces. We also want to share some information for all the veterans living in the area. So, we've invited Leon Peol to join us, who is an expert on all things VA with the American Legion Post 166, located in Gilpin County. Leon, can you introduce yourself for our listeners?
My name is Leon Peol. I'm the Veterans Officer for Gilpin County. I'm also the Senior Vice Commander at the American Legion, Central City, Post 166.
Leon, where in Central City can folks find you?
We are located right above, our office is located, our meeting place is located right above Dustle Alley in Central City.
And Leon, will you remind folks what the purpose of the American Legion is and why they are here to support our veterans?
The mission of the American Legion is to provide services to needy veterans, either monetarily or any kind of service that we, if a veteran is behind on his mortgage payment or is got excessive medical bills or needs some emergency funds for auto care or any kind of service that a veteran might need. My mission at the Veteran Service Office is to provide services for veterans that have been that are disabled or any type of service such as veteran service, healthcare, education, just about any type of not only VA benefits, federal benefits, but also state of Colorado veterans benefits.
Thank you, Leon. The best way to contact the American Legion is either by phone or by visiting the office. They do provide services to any veteran across the peaks. The number to call is 303-582-5444. The office is located at 2960 Dory Hill Road, Suite 100 in Blackhawk.
If you are a visual artist in the Peak to Peak area and want to include your studio, gallery, or workspace in the fall Peak to Peak Studio Tour, then go to themountaineer.com and sign up today. It is free to join, and artists will showcase their finest work to visitors and art lovers in all autumn splendor. Again, to sign up, visit themountaineer.com and follow the links to the Peak to Peak Studio Tour.
Sky was watching us, and the breeze was listening to us tell our tale.
And that was Fruition playing their song, The Meaning. They are one of the bands set to play for the upcoming Nedfest Family Reunion taking place in August at the Caribou Room. And now, Dango speaks with Amy Fortunato, longtime mountain resident, jewelry artist, and author of the famed children's book, Horsing Around in the Town of Gold Hill.
Hello, Amy. Can you start by introducing yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit more about your background?
My name is Amy Fortunato. My background is in art and education. I'm a longtime resident of Gold Hill, boss lady at Cowboys Sweetheart Jewelry, and most recently author of a new children's book titled Horsing Around in the Town of Gold Hill, a story to stir up the imagination and spur creativity.
So children's books often contain some kind of lesson for the readers. Is that true for your book as well?
So the lesson I hope that readers take away from this book is that the whole world benefits when we stop self-limiting our creativity. Life is full of distractions, and for me, the best way to become more present is to bring my attention back to my physical experience, noticing how it feels to be alive and attuned to the sensations around me. And so this story is just a playful reminder to live in and appreciate the present moment.
So, Amy, where do you think your interest in writing children's books actually comes from?
Well, the interest in facilitating and encouraging creativity in young people has always existed for me. After my first year in college, I spent the following summer teaching art classes at a summer camp in the Poconos, and I eventually became a certified Waldorf teacher for grades 1 through 8, and for a while worked at the Denver Waldorf School. I was also the art teacher for many years at the Crested Butte Academy. I participated in the Artists in the School program at the Crested Butte Elementary School. And in addition, I would assist high school students in building their portfolios if they desired admittance into college art programs. And then with my background in graphic design and photography, I did want a format to combine both sides of my background. But the main kick in the pants to start the book was the 4 Mile Canyon fire. And with that, I was just struck by both the destruction of the fire and the resiliency of our community, and also by the recovery and regeneration of the land. So climate change and the threat of wildfire is very real, and for now, the town of Gold Hill is still here. So I want people of all ages to appreciate and protect this beautiful, rugged landscape and to continually improve our relationship with it. And I believe that what children learn to value and appreciate in childhood, they will grow to protect in adulthood, which is why I chose this picture book format to convey my message.
And the illustrations in this book. Each page also includes a beautiful work of art. Can you tell us about the artist and how you chose him to illustrate the work?
Well, it was very important to me that the illustrations not be flat, cartoony images. I wanted a more artistic representation, a little less cute, and instead a more edgy, loose style that conveys how hardscrabble life can sometimes be up here in the mountains. So as a creative person, I follow lots of other creative people on social media, and Sid was one of those people. I reached out to him and was just so grateful when he responded. But he lives in Brazil, and so all of our communication was through emails and photographs.
it was a challenge, but I'm just pleased with the final result.
And there's a lyrical rhyming aspect to the writing, another traditional aspect of children's books.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the writing process, but it was hard to write the whole story in rhyme. I wanted its cadence to resemble the rhythm of a walking horse. And I think rhyming stories provide a really fun way for kids to expand their vocabulary and pronunciation skills. I think a mistake for some writers is that they make the rhyme more important than the story, at the expense of the dialogue and the plot. And I wanted to be sure that I didn't do that.
Amy, can you tell the folks listening where they can buy your book, Horsing Around in the Town of Gold Hill?
The book is available on my website at cowboys-sweetheart.com and at my tiny shop, which is located in the heart of Gold Hill. The tiny shop is open seasonally from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Wednesday through Sunday evenings from 4 p.m. until dark. You can also find it at the Boulder Bookstore, Jackie Michelle Gift Boutique in North Boulder, and at the Gold Hill Store and Pub. And it's also available to check out at the Nederland Community Library.
Thank you, Amy. We'll be sure to include any useful links and information for people to learn more about the book and your shop in Gold Hill in our show notes.
The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers. We have wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but we have less. We buy more but we enjoy it less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences and less time. We have more degrees but less depth, more knowledge but less judgment, more experts but more problems, more medicine but less wellness.
That concludes this week's episode of the Mountain Air Podcast, where everybody's listening.
Visit our website at www.themountaineer.com to read more information about today's guests. Pick up a copy of this week's print edition of The Mountaineer at newsstands all across the Peak to Peak. I'm Dango Rose.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. Thank you for listening.
You name it, we've got it.
You know, up here in the mountains, things are weird.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak-to-Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.